Hello, and welcome to my video, where we will be taking a look at my thoughts and ideas for a level design in Mega Man Maker. Up on the screen right now you can see the level ID, so if you want to give this level a shot yourself, you're free to go ahead. Alright, so as we spawn in this little start area, there's two things of main interest. Three, really. First of all, you cannot proceed unless you learn how to jump. It's important to make sure that the player knows that basic function before they move forward. But the first thing that players are likely to do is move left as they see this kind of shiny door-looking object. And when they do, first of all, they find out that the door is locked, and second of all, they learn that the little spikes from the ceiling will drop if you get too close. So this kind of gives them an idea for one of the traps that they will be encountering before it even presents a danger to them. So once the player learns how to jump, they're able to proceed forward, where they immediately encounter the same thing, but this time if they aren't careful, it will hurt them. Moving forward, we have a basic fire trap. It's easy to figure out how to get through it, and it's accounted on its own so that players will be more aware moving forward. Next up, we have another locked door, this time with boss rooms. So we can see that both of the doors we've encountered before are locked, so we will need a key to proceed forward. So as we go into this room, we see more flame traps, similar to the one we encountered in the first place, easy enough to dodge, and we also saw a rocket fly across the screen. It was too low to be of any danger to us, but now we know what to look out for as we go forward. And then we encounter these enemies, which don't present too much of a danger to the player, unless they're really just not paying attention. So, moving forward, we have the rockets coming across, and well as more spikes. So now we kind of have the layer of, if you don't move forward, the enemy right here is shooting you, you have rockets, and well as the spikes. So all the kind of the encounters we've encountered previously are layered on top of each other. Through this real quick. Now we have the first part where the player has to slide. They might be confused at first, but with the addition of the health bars kind of prompting them forward, they will eventually learn how to slide, and gaining some health back in the process. Here we have another spike trap before another tunnel that you have to slide down, as well as a ladder. Now here, the player has to be careful and react quickly to the enemies that spawn here. However, if they don't react quickly enough, the enemies will just simply drop them down to the ladder, so they're not punished too much. Moving forward, we have the first encounter with the pickaxe enemy, as well as the moving platforms. So once the enemy is defeated, because the player saw the character standing on this platform, they now know that you're able to stand on it yourself, and they could do so. Some more of this tiny enemies, not much of a threat, as long as the player is prepared. You just have to time your jumps well. And another moving platform, where it brings you to more spikes, as well as more small enemies. Here the player does have to be a little more careful. The spikes do reflect your bullets, so if you don't time it right, you'll have a hard time killing the enemies, so you have to kind of time your dodges as well as your shots. Now here, this spike cannot kill you because of the moving platform in the way, and it shows us the moving platform is capable of blocking the spikes. So as we see this giant row of spikes, the player will hopefully figure out that they need to use the platform as a blockade. And if they don't time it well enough, then they will be sent back to the checkpoint back here. Not too far, but it does mean that they do have to be rather careful. So right now we've had a little bit of an elevation in terms of difficulty, but not too much. One death so far, and every obstacle that was put in the player's way, they've had time to kind of acclimate themselves to it beforehand. So now, if we wait here, the difficulty will eventually start to ramp up further. Here we have an oil pit, which is just a little bit too far to really make the jump without, so it kind of shows you that the player slowed down and they can't jump as high. Then we have 3 more, as well as another pickaxe enemy and a moving platform, so they know that you kind of have to manage your jumps more carefully here. And if the player gets too close, a big dog will spawn, turning one of the oil pits into fire. Luckily there's a moving platform, so the player isn't doomed if this happens. They just need to kill the pickaxe enemy and then move on. Besides turning that one pit of oil into fire, both showing its function as well as proving to be a danger to the player, the dog does not provide much else in terms of danger. Now here we have a jumping puzzle, or not really a puzzle so much as just basic platforming, with rockets flying across the screen. You can either dodge or shoot the rockets, but if you do, when you jump, you have to be careful not to fall into the fire, which will kill you. And if you pay too much attention to that, the rockets will kill you. So it's really just a matter of timing and being careful. These first 3 jumps are fairly simple, as the platforms get close enough together through uneven paths that the player is able to easily make a jump. However, this last jump in particular is difficult because of how perfectly spaced they are. The player isn't able to make the jump if the platform is moving forward, so after a few tries, the player learns that they have to wait until the platforms are moving backwards, and then make a full jump. Otherwise, they'll simply be too far away, due to the higher platform moving away from you. So now you can make that jump. And then make it to the end. Here, we finally unlocked the axe weapon. It is the only other weapon besides the Mega Blaster that we've used. I did this because I wanted this to be more focused on timing, as well as kind of being careful with the platforming rather than having a bunch of unique weapons. However, this weapon will prove to be of use against the boss, as well as it makes it a little bit easier to clear out this room, which again has more layered difficulties on it, using both moving platforms, rockets, as well as the pickaxe thrower. Here we have more flames and platform, as well as other final pickaxe thrower. I do not know what this one is called. If the player is hit, they have a short time to make it back onto the platform before the fire kills them due to the hit invulnerability. But if you're not quick enough, they do die. Here it is a little tricky for the player. Oh, if you jump too high, you'll get hit by the spikes again, so the player has to manage a lot of stuff here. And here's where the difficulty really kind of hits its peak. So everything's kind of built up into this area, which proves to be a bit of difficulty. However, the axe does make it a little bit simpler for the player, and kind of shows its use as a powerful damaging item. Now with that pickaxe thrower done, we finally have what appears to be the key that we need for the door. As we kill one last challenge in the way of the player. In terms of sliding and small enemies, they don't do too much damage, however, if the player isn't careful, they can take quite enough. Then we have a quick item spawn to give the player a little bit more of an advantage for coming into the boss room, as well as the first checkpoint, and another pickup spawn. This pickup spawn is mainly used for when the player is defeated by the boss. However, if they used a lot of weapon usages in the previous 2 rooms, then it makes it a little bit easier going into this boss fight. So finally, we can unlock this door and proceed into the boss fight proper. Keen viewers may remember that there was a door previously at the start of the level. This is it's kind of a secret door. If the player decides to go all the way back to the beginning of the level and unlock that door instead, they will be given a secret boss fight that is much more difficult than this one. However, we will be going through the default path, which is the one that the viewer is most likely, or the player is most likely to take, simply due to it being right here and right next to the checkpoint. And we get to the boss fight proper with Flame Man, or Flame Guy. Axe does not quite reach all this distance, however once he gets close, the player is able to hit him. Unfortunately, due to how low health I was, it was quite easy, but respawn full HP, any weapon usages you can be recharged using that weapon pickup, and we go again. Here we have spike traps going into lava, or oil, which can be turned into fire due to Flame Guy's attacks. So here the player kind of has to carefully manage all their jumps and spacing around the boss in order to get victorious. Here the axe does prove to be extremely beneficial, but if the player's not careful, the spikes might get them if the boss doesn't. So here, it's the boss fight. It's supposed to be the most difficult area, and so the player has to manage quite a bit in this level in order to remain victorious. As we can see, kind of all of the level so far has been a very fiery theme, as well as a kind of an underground fortress type thing. With flame bosses, flame enemies, as well as kind of red traps, red from the flames, which is kind of contrasted with some green in the background as well as some blue, as well as the blue platforms here. It gives it kind of a scientific feel while still being a little bit of a rugged underground type scenario. And with that, the boss is defeated. It took a few tries, but the player is able to do it, and so the level is complete. As I said, the level ID is right here, as well as in the description of this video, so if you want to give it a shot yourself, go ahead. You can maybe try out the secret room and see how you do there. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you've enjoyed.